Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel for another film review. And today I'm talking about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I saw this in theaters twice. I know, right? How could he see it twice? This film was awful. It's one of the worst, abominations and destructions of character to ever take place in the history of cinema. No. You know what? The movie's fine. Uh, Here is my preamble about the movie. The movie is about aging, and there's multiple, I think, levels to that. It's about the aging of our heroes, but more in general, just aging and the past, and finding your place in the present when the past has seemingly passed you by and you're not in your prime anymore. People look at you differently. You can't do the things you did when you were younger. And Indy finds himself in that predicament. So let's get into the things that let's get rid of the things that I didn't like about this movie first. I'm going to talk about the things I didn't like first. Let's get that out of the way. So I did have issues with the movie. I think it's better than Crystal Skull. I'm going to say that right now. Just me personally. The first 45 minutes to an hour, I think, of Crystal Skull is actually good. It's promising. Right up until they get to, the jungle. Basically, when they arrive in the jungle on that horrible soundstage jungle set, that's when that movie starts going downhill. Specifically when they get trapped in that quicksand pit and the rubber snake that Indy grabs on that Mutt throws him. It becomes a parody at that point and just farcical and comically bad. But up until that point, it's actually good. I really enjoy the first sequence. The nuke the fridge doesn't bother me that much. The library chase is fantastic, but it goes downhill. This film, on the other hand, while not as consistently good as that first 45 minutes or an hour of Spielberg's Crystal Skull, I think overall this one brings it home in a better way. The Indy was almost people say he was sidetracked in this one and he didn't have anything to do. I think he was sidetracked and didn't have anything to do. He was almost, not noticeable in a lot of the scenes in Crystal Skull once they got to the temple, the Mayan Aztec city or whatever it was. So let's talk about the things I didn't like about Dial of Destiny. I didn't like some of the CGI. Now, the de-aging stuff, the first time I saw this, it bothered me. The first time I saw the movie, I was like, this is taking me out of it. If it's taking me out of it, it shouldn't be in the movie. There's too much CGI. It's too dark. I can't see what's happening. The scene where young Indy jumps across to the motorcycle from the vehicle, it's just too much. Especially after watching the original 3, when everything is for the most part in camera, everything that you're seeing on the screen. There's just so much CGI in that opening sequence, and the de-aging on top of it, it kind of took me out of it. Once we got to old Indy, I started liking it a bit more. But on the second viewing, the de-aged Harrison Ford did not bother me as much. I don't know why. I just told myself to roll with it and let myself kind of imagine that the de-aging is not there, I guess. And it did look better on a second viewing. However, some of the body movements, just some of the shots look funky. The uncanny valley thing where it's just but seeing behind the scenes stuff, I guess Harrison did quite a few of his own. He did a lot of the scenes. It's him acting it. So you also get a little 80-year-old man on a 40-year-old head type of scenes. But that opening sequence and then the callback that John Williams did to Last Crusade, the music, I like the opening sequence. The Nazis reintroducing them, and they're plundering, this castle, taking their war. They've already lost the war at this point, and they're taking their plunder. And then we go in the plunder train, and that whole sequence I liked mainly. Besides Voller getting hit by that post, I think it would have been better if they did something different because it just seems ridiculous that he got hit by that post, and they didn't even put a scar on his face. Like they should have put a big scar on his head, something when he appears later on. What else didn't I like? The action sequences, while not terrible, were also mired in CGI. You know, those CGI green screen close-ups in the vehicles, like Indy when he's driving the tuk-tuk. All of that stuff. It's not that great. What else did I like? Yeah, basically just the CGI through it. I thought they could have edited the movie down a little bit. Antonio Banderas was underutilized. It's just like a pointless casting. Like, what was the point of casting Antonio Banderas? I guess you want somebody recognizable for that role if he's Indy's friend, but he gets killed and then nobody cares. So, things I liked. John Williams score. Man, it was nice to hear that again. Cinematography was great. The use of real locations, despite what I said earlier about the CGI, it still grounds the film, I believe. This cover artwork here this movie poster is great. Voller as a villain was fantastic. I liked the mystery of the MacGuffin, the dial. And even the end, as batshit as it gets, I still enjoyed the mystery of the MacGuffin and it being central to the whole theme of the film of aging, time, history, and the MacGuffin literally is history and time sort of embodied in an object. What else? The ending was good. I liked it. Marion showing up. I guess you could say it's undeserved, but through what we see, it's about Indy rebounding in the film, coming back from that grief of Mutt's demise. Another positive in the movie is definitely Harrison Ford's acting. Probably one of his better performances because you can tell that he cares about this character. The scene on the boat when he's talking about Mutt and what he would do if he had the dial and he could go back in time. And he talks about going back in time and telling his son not to enlist. And I would tell him that he's going to die and that I couldn't console his mother and his grief would overtake her and I had no means to console her and it tore us apart as well. And then they bring in the Marion theme in that scene. It's pretty good stuff. Like I teared up. I teared up at that point. It was good. Yeah, just overall I thought it was not terrible. Of course, the movie got torpedoed by like it kind of shot itself in the foot, you know, to be honest. Premiering at Cannes and then couple that, you know, giving that month for people to just speculate and bury this film because it really did not have much hype. I think the marketing campaign was not good. It's been too long since Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. You know, I think Disney overestimated the nostalgia and fan base. While they have a huge fan base, I love Indiana Jones. I watch those movies religiously as a kid. I dressed up as Indiana Jones at Halloween, all of that stuff. However, we've had 2 films in a over 30-year span, I guess. Like since Crusade, 11, 8, 19. Yeah, it's been a long, long time to have not much content be delivered. So that hurt the movie. I thought Teddy was fine. Yeah, I thought it was good, man. I thought it was good. I gave it like a, I don't know, 7.5. I thought it was a good send-off. It's better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. People thought, and the whole like YouTube hate machine were all over this movie. Total woke garbage. It's woke. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is like destroying the movie, and I thought she was fine. I thought Indy, if anything, Indy was the main character here. All right, there was no woke shit in this movie, and those people are stupid. And I'm not saying anybody's opinion is wrong. If you didn't like the movie, you think it was awful, that's fine. I liked it. I think it was campy. It had its moments. It's not perfect. It's missing the Spielberg touch, but the nostalgia factor for me brings it home. An aging Indy finding his place again, finding the sense of adventure again. It's nice to see Salah. And the movie thematically works. You know, he travels to the past and he wants to stay there in the past because he's stuck. He's stuck. And he needs to realize that what is of true value is in the present, meaning his wife, his goddaughter, and his friends. Despite the grief that they've been through together, his place is in the present. So, yeah, those are some of my thoughts. What do you think about the movie? Let me know down below. And if you want to see more movie reviews, you enjoy the little rumination, little talk, I'm going to try to do more, and I'm just going to try to ramble, rant, talk about films and movies, anything that I'm watching at the moment. We're watching Walking Dead right now, funny enough. And I stopped watching years ago when it was airing on TV at season 7, but we're on season 9, and I'm actually like pleasantly surprised. Season 8 was not great, but season 9 is great so far. So we'll see what happens in season 10 and 11. All right, later.